Welcome to Stuff and Whiskey. I'm Josh.
And I'm Erin.
And today we're talking about the absolute best thing about whiskey, period. Stay tuned to find out what it is.
Welcome to the channel, bringing a real-world perspective to the real-world whiskey consumer.
Before we get into our main topic today, we have a special Patreon shout out to Jim and Carol, brand new patrons to the channel. Mm-hmm. Thank you guys so much for the support and allowing us to be able to do this. And yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah,
it's
thank
amazing.
You so much.
And that kind of ties in a little bit to our main topic today. Yeah, but before we get into that,
okay,
Erin, how you doing?
I'm great. We just got to spend some time with a few whiskey tube people that watch this channel today. So I'm a little kind of socialized out, but at the same time, I'm also energized because it's been really fun to meet some people and hang out with everyone who's so nice.
Yeah. Shout out to Top Dog John and his beautiful wife Renee for having us over.
Awesome people.
Had a great time. Local people here in the Nashville area. And also to Eric David Gunderson, the man with three names. He stopped by.
Always a good
and we had some pours together and just had a good time. Yeah. So yeah, always good running into local people. Always good chatting with people. Again, this all kind of ties into our main topic today, and we'll get into that. But first, we have a little quick review. Okay. You guys know how we do it on these episodes. We got to do a quick review first.
Yep.
And we're going to review Maker's Mark FAE-02. So I had the opportunity to be in Kentucky this week. I wasn't too far from the Maker's Mark distillery. Mm-hmm. Drop by there and pick this up. We're also going to compare it to FAE-01 right over there.
All right.
But we'll get into that in a second. Let's give this glass its due.
It smells good. It smells like bourbon.
Yeah, it's kind of like a interesting, almost like a syrupy, bready sweetness
to it.
I
was thinking syrup, yep.
But not super heavy. It's a light concentration.
Maybe.
But it's a nice, pleasant, syrupy smell.
Ooh, that's got some, as you say, cinnamon spice. Baking spices. Do I sound like you yet?
It caught me off guard how much it had. Because it was like a syrupy, but kind of like it had a bright fruitiness on the nose, but a syrupy note. And no, I'm getting the syrupy note on the finish now.
Yeah, me too.
Huge swelling spice right on the mid to back palate. Kind of uncommon for like a wheated bourbon.
Oh, really?
They tend to hit you with a lot of sweetness on the front and middle of the palate.
Oh, definitely it's on the back end because you got the spice right up front.
Yeah, you get a lot of dark, rich flavors out of this. This is really nice.
I kind of dig this.
I actually do like this.
Yeah.
Quite a lot. We'll find out here in a second, but I think I prefer this to FAE-01.
Well, we should try to find out.
We will. Hang on, one more sip on this.
Okay.
Man, the nose is really nice.
Yeah.
One more sip. Yeah, the spice tamed down on the second sip. It caught me so off guard on the first sip.
Yeah.
But the spice tamed itself down on the second sip, and it's just like a nice, rich, concentrated punch of flavor right on the middle of the palate. That is really good. It is.
I like
it's very much on the baking spices, cinnamon wheelhouse, just right there. So we've got FAE-02 in the glass 2 position, and we're going to bring in FAE-01 into the glass 1 position. And this was a bottle we opened right before filming. This was also a bottle we opened right before filming. So this will be very interesting to compare. At $70.
They smell different.
Oh, yeah. This is supposed to, well, I won't say what they're supposed to be. You can read the front of the bottle and see what makers want you to think that they are. But let's get into this.
This smells like brown sugar to me.
Yeah. This is darker and richer, and this is a little bit more like light brown sugar. Interesting. Caramel, more caramel on glass 1.
I get oakiness on this, but not spices.
Yeah, I'm getting a little bit of a peppery spice on the back end on it, but it's really more of that like caramel, almost so like a caramel apple, but more caramel. It still has dark flavors, but not as dark as FAE-02. Let me go back to FAE-02 now that I've had one just to see.
Second sip, I got more spices on one than I did the first original sip.
I think on the nose, I prefer FAE-02. I just prefer that little bit darker profile.
Oh man, this tastes different now. They all, I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, that's taming down even more. I think that, to me, FAE-02 kind of gets you more on the mid to back palate, and FAE-01 is more front to mid palate.
Yep.
And they're both really good. They both have layers of flavors. They're not too different, but it's just one leans a little darker, one leans a little brighter.
Yeah.
But either one of these for $70,
not bad.
And the availability, even though it is a limited release item, if you pay attention in your local market, you could probably get your hands on some. I mean, that's never a guarantee with a limited release product, but for $70 and the possibility of being able to get one much more easily than a lot of allocated stuff, they're both going to get a thumbs up from me.
Same. Thumbs up for me as well.
I just think I have a slight preference towards FAE-02, but it is very slight. FAE-02 does not blow FAE-01 out of the water.
No, it doesn't. I think I might have a slight preference to 2 as well. Yeah. However, again, it's not leaps and bounds better.
Right. They're both really good.
Yeah.
Just different.
Yeah.
So let's get these out of the way and get into our main topic, which you're probably waiting for. What is the absolute best thing about whiskey, bourbon,
tell me,
spirits in general? Will you tell me? What do you think?
The people.
It is the people.
You guys, the community.
Yeah.
The friendships you can build. Like, we met 2 people today that we're going to hang out with them again.
Yeah.
And
I mean, the people that you meet in this, and if you think about it, like, whiskey inherently is a slow down, chill. You said this yourself after hanging out with John and Renee today. You're like, yeah, it's just so nice. They're like, why are whiskey people the best people?
And it's why whiskey people are just easy hangs. Like, they're just easy to hang out with because
all they want to do is sit around and sip whiskey and talk.
Which is so nice and so easy to be around.
It's almost like sipping whiskey and talking. It's almost like somebody should start a YouTube channel doing that or something.
You could do that and people would actually watch that.
Maybe. For some reason.
Or
who
bots.
knows why? Yeah.
Bots are watching.
But it really is the people, and we've kind of said in a few of our videos that we're a channel about community and conversation disguised as a whiskey channel. Yeah. Shout out to Jason from Mash and Drum. He says it's not about the whiskey, but the people you share it with. And that is certainly true.
So true.
Because I've said it before plenty of times. I would rather enjoy a mediocre whiskey with an amazing person than enjoy an amazing whiskey with a mediocre person. Like, it really is about the people that you're sharing it with. And that's not to discount whiskey itself, because it tastes good and it's fun to taste different whiskeys for sure.
Yeah.
I'd also like to point out that whiskey in and of itself, you're drinking a smaller volume compared to something like beer. So from like that standpoint, there's a lot of good things about drinking whiskey. Like, you can cut some calories that way if that's important, if that's on your mind. I honestly find that I don't get hangovers as much from whiskey as I do from other things.
Because most of the time, it's probably because you're drinking it slower over a longer period of time.
And it doesn't have a bunch of extra stuff in it. It's just whiskey. Like, it doesn't have a bunch of additives. You're not doing these sugary, sweet cocktails.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, all those things are really just ancillary to the fact that you can share it with amazing people.
Yeah.
Whether that be virtually through a channel like this, live streams, or whether it be hanging out with people in person. And that's kind of what we want to speak to today, because hanging out with people in person and sipping whiskey is one of the best experiences, bar none. We got really turned on to this when we went really full whiskey nerd. I went really full whiskey nerd and found the Nashville Bourbon Social Club, which is a local club that started through Facebook. Check there to see if you have a local club. And if you don't have one, start one. But if there's some out there that are local and maybe the vibe isn't the right fit for you, start your own.
Yeah.
Set the culture that you want. Be the change you want to see in the world.
I mean, it's true.
I mean, we walked in to Nashville Bourbon Social Club. I got on the group and they're doing barrel picks, which is awesome. Great. Get to try cool whiskey. Amazing. But you meet the people. Everybody is really caring. Everybody is really sharing, friendly. It's such a good time.
Because sharing is caring.
Yeah. So there's like this thing in the whiskey space where it's like, if you know, you know. And it's it can be kind of elitist. Because it's like, wait a minute, I don't know. What's going on?
What do I not know? Yeah.
But we Nashville Bourbon Social Club kind of takes that and spins it to, if you know, you share.
So that's awesome. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So if there's a pick around town that's going quick, post up in there. Let people know. You might be limit 1 or limit 2 on that rare bottle, but you can let someone else know. Maybe they can go grab a bottle as well. You know, it's things like that.
Yeah.
Or getting together for bottle shares. You know, that's a big culture point for Nashville Bourbon Social Club is like, hey, we're going to have an event. We're going to get people together. Everybody bring 1 or 2 bottles.
Well, we just did that for, it was a going away party for someone in the club. And I'm not a member of the Nashville Bourbon Social Club, but Josh is. And
well, you're not on Facebook. So
I'm not on Facebook.
Yeah.
So
I'm only on Facebook for the Nashville Bourbon Social Club.
But
really.
I attended and everyone was so nice to me. They had never met me before. And everyone brought a bottle, was a huge selection of bottles on the table. And everyone was just pouring and sharing and talking. And I loved it. It was so great to meet so many nice people. And we were all just sharing and talking and different people from different backgrounds. Like it just brought everyone together for this going away party for this one guy who ended up being so awesome. And I wish he wasn't going away.
Jason Ladd. Yeah. How dare you move on us?
But yeah, it was just great. And I, as someone who's kind of on the outskirts of the community, so to speak, that like you're more involved in it.
Right, the local community.
The local community, I still loved it and really like almost got a high of energy off of just being there with all the people. So it's cool.
And the other benefit of those types of things too is by far, that is the way that I've been able to try some of the wildest whiskeys I've ever tried before is through connections and community and being willing to share when I get a bottle of something special. So we have a bottle of George T. Stagg. It maybe has 30% left in the entire bottle. I think I've had 1 pour of that by myself. Every other time I've ever had it, it's been sharing it with someone else, other people that have never been able to try it, and just being willing to do that. And at that Nashville Bourbon Social Club thing, we're trying like Blue Run 14 year and Weller 107 picks and Smoke Wagon Private Barrels.
All the stuff we tried.
Little Books. I have like, we tried so much stuff. I forgot what we tried. Belmead Peach, tons of stuff that we tried.
Yeah.
I've tried Pappy. All the Pappy I've tried, except for 2 expressions, have been through other people. Yeah. Tons of Willets, just so much stuff. All the BTAC I've tried, other than that George T. Stagg, has been through other people. Is it cool to try all those whiskeys? Is it cool to like have that experience of trying something rare? Sure it is. Yeah. But even with that said, I wouldn't trade that for the people.
The conversations and just the friendships you can build by sharing is really great.
Right.
It's the best thing about it for me.
I don't typically have really heavy hitter bottles to bring to those sorts of things. So I just try to bring a local store pick that I think people may not have been able to try. Or our Nashville Bourbon Social Club will do barrel picks themselves. And if I get one of those, I'll bring that so that people who didn't get picked for that can try it because they're probably going to be interested in it. You're going to show up to these things. And again, if you don't have one of these things in your neck of the woods, start it.
Yeah.
Start it. There's no better time to start it than right now.
And it can start small, just you and one other person.
That's all it takes.
And then you can invite someone else.
Yeah.
And it'll just grow.
It will. It really will. Because if you build that culture right from the get-go, it will snowball. I can promise you, people want positivity. People want to share this stuff, share the community. I mean, and then as a byproduct, everybody gets really excited about sharing some really good whiskey too. So for other stuff this week, speaking of community, check the video description below for the Facebook group, Bourbon Life Under $60. And you can also just search for that. If you go into the search for groups and you search Bourbon Life Under $60, check that out. It is a great community, obviously focused on bottles in the $60-ish price point and below.
Yeah.
You know, that encompasses a lot of available stuff, some stuff that maybe is a little bit harder to find, but it is a non-local community to us that is very positive, very encouraging, very inclusive. And, you know, you can just join in right there. I said I was only on Facebook for Nashville Bourbon Social Club until this group came along. And then now I'm actually more involved in that group, not than Nashville Bourbon Social Club.
But you're involved in both.
Right. Yeah. I'm more involved in that group than I've ever been in any other Facebook group.
Yeah.
Because Nashville Bourbon Social Club is a positive, encouraging community about sharing without any elitism or anything like that. And the Bourbon Life Under $60 is the same thing. And again, if you don't have a local group, start one, please. That's like homework right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do it. You can do it.
Yeah.
A+. You're A+ student.
And if you want to join our community, we're still going to pump out videos every week on Thursdays and Saturdays. Yep. But if you want to join our community, you can do so via the Patreon link. I said via. I always say, people say via or via?
I don't know, but I liked it. It sounded really smart.
I don't know. But via the video description below, you'll see a link to our Patreon. And I think $3 is the lowest tier. That gets you access to the entire community. We're over on Discord chatting with people.
Yeah.
We just don't really love social media outside of these few islands that are beacons of positivity in an otherwise very negative landscape. We don't need to go on another social media rant.
Other things to spend our time on.
Yeah.
Like making these videos or
engaging with the community, doing live streams.
Yeah.
Yeah. Meeting up with local people, having a good time, going to bottle shares, things like that. So we just choose to feed into that positivity. And if you want to be part of that specifically with this channel, you can do so down there. In the video description below, you will also see our upcoming live stream information. We do one live stream a month. We try to make it an event. We try to make it fun. And after we do whatever the topic is that we're doing for that month, then we just hang out and chat with you guys.
Virtual happy hour style.
Yeah, it's a really great time.
Thank you for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. Also, leave some comments below. Let's start a conversation. Have you had any of these Maker's Mark products that we tried? And if you haven't subscribed, like Josh said, we put videos out Thursdays and Saturdays. So go ahead and subscribe and hit that notification bell to be notified whenever we post our videos.
Till next week, guys.
Cheers.